my daddy. How can I summarize a man like my dad on one piece of paper? People say, my dad's the best dad in the world. But my dad was the best dad in the world. There's nothing he wouldn't do for anyone, especially my mom, my sisters, grandchildren. He always put us first, always. He absolutely worshipped the ground my mother walked on. That's pretty good. We were his pride and joy. Growing up, I never remember hearing my parents fight or yell at each other. They may have been aggravated with each other, but we never saw it. The example my parents gave us was that God was first, then family, period. We were spoiled and loved, but not with material things. We had everything we needed, and we were happy. He loved me no matter what. He supported me mentally, physically, and spiritually. My dad always prayed for me. It was an honor and privilege to be his daughter. He got the most pleasure and happiness from his grandchildren. If anyone asked how many he had, he always would say 8 granddaughters, 3 grandsons. He always asked how they were and loved it when they would tell him what was going on in their lives. He would go to their activities and games as his health would allow and be so proud of them. There are so many stories I could tell you about my dad and his unselfish acts of generosity, love, and kindness. For me, there's one that means the most. And I'm reading for Jenny when I read this. When I was pregnant with my first child, when I was pregnant with my first child, my dad did not want me to put her in daycare. He decided to retire so he could take care of my daughter, Riley. He loved her, cared, and nurtured her 3 days a week, every week. 2.5 years later, my son Chandler was born. Dad never hesitated about taking care of him either. So there was this man with a 2.5-year-old and a newborn. I know of no other man, and I'm with this, I know of no other man who would even attempt to do that. But my dad did. What a sacrifice he made for me, for my children, and that's not how he viewed it. He had his Riley and Chandler with him. He loved and cherished that time. What an incredible man to take on such a huge, daunting job. My children were so blessed to have had that time with him. One more story. A few years ago, my dad decided he wanted to be baptized. Due to his health, we just didn't see any way he could do that at church. He couldn't climb into a baptismal pool, that kind of thing. So our preacher, Ernie Fry, came to my house and baptized Dad in our swimming pool. We were all there and were able to witness such an intimate time with the Lord. I will cherish that day forever. I saw that picture on the screen last night. That was awesome. Last night, we came to visitation. Jenny writes, I was struggling with that. When people started coming in, such a peace came over me. I had the opportunity to see just a glimpse of how many people my dad touched and how many people loved my dad. There are people there that he had known for years, and those who just recently come to know him. I love hearing the stories of my dad. He was absolutely eating it up. Monday morning with my mom, my sister Patty, Betsy, and I were in the emergency room. We were given a special gift. We were able to hold his hands and be there at that very moment when he went to heaven. We told him we loved him. We sang Amazing Grace and said the 23rd Psalm. What a precious memory to have, indeed. My father left such a legacy of love, of honor, and of godliness for us. I pray we all keep it tucked in our hearts. I know my dad loved Jesus. I know my dad is in heaven rejoicing, walking and seeing all those who left before him. That he shouting glory with the angels. I know I will see him again. I'm 100% positive. And it's all because of his legacy and the way he raised his girls in the love of the Lord. I pray everyone here will have this peace. It's the only thing that's got me through this tremendous loss. I love you, Daddy.